Welcome back to another tier list video. It's been a while. So today we're going to be ranking every single Scarlet and Violet era set and trying to figure out which is the best set. And then at the very end, we're going to swap some things around and figure out the best sets to invest in because there is a difference. We're even going to be checking out White Flare and Black Bolt at the very end. And I do have to announce the winner from last Sunday's giveaway, and that is at Taystar5352. So just hit me up on Instagram or my email and I will get that card shipped out to you. And we do have to get thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is Arizona TCG. If you guys have a couple graded cards or a ton of graded cards you're looking to sell, you're not sure what to do and you want to get that top dollar, Arizona TCG is perfect. You just send them all your graded cards. They're going to take professional scans of your cards. And then they're going to post it to their massive weekly eBay auctions. You do have full control. You can change it to buy it now. You can track your entire collection. And they charge almost the exact same amount as if you started your own eBay store. But this eBay store already has 100% positive feedback with over 10,000 cards sold. So definitely check them out. All the links are in the description. But all right, let's get started. So we're going to go in complete order, starting off with Scarlet and Violet base set. We're also going to be checking like the top 10, 15 cards for each set so we can kind of really get a good look at the sets. And then, as you guys know, I'm going to be moving this stuff around the whole time. So, all right, let's get to it. Scarlet and Violet base set. Checking out the top 10 cards. I think it's a very solid lineup. Having the Gardevoir line with a couple Gen 1 Pokemons like Drowsy, Slowpoke, and then we also got Miriam, a couple legendaries, Miraidon, Koraidon, and then we got the Riolu illustration rare. And the next 5 isn't terrible either. A couple trainers, but we got the Grievard and Armorage. So Scarlet and Violet base set is a very solid set. It's basically the best base set we've ever gotten. Not to mention, it's the first set ever with silver borders for English, so it's very solid. So we're just going to throw it in good for now. As I said, I'm going to be moving this stuff around. Next, we got Paldea Evolved. You guys know how crazy of a set Paldea Evolved is. My only complaint is in the special illustration rare department, how there's not a lot of variety. It's all Gen 9 Pokemon. Besides that, it is literally a perfect set. We got the Magikarp, Raichu, Tyranitar. As you can see, the illustration rares are basically the most expensive cards in the set because the special illustration rares are all Gen 9, which, very beautiful arts. I have no complaints. Just would have liked a little bit more variety. So we're going to throw that on the list right now. We're just going to put it in great to start off. Next, we got Obsidian Flames. Now, this is like our first really small set that we got in the Scarlet and Violet era. Pretty solid. Charizard, Ninetales, Pidgeot, Cleffa, Scizor, Gloom, Houndour, Pidgey. We got some solid Pokemon in here for sure. It's just that it's so small that it makes it tough to be one of the best sets. Not to mention, a lot of people do not like the Charizard. In my opinion, the Ninetales is the best card in the set. So we are going to put it in decent for now. All right, next we got 151. I don't even really need to talk about this. My only complaint for this set is I wish it was maybe a little bit bigger. I wish they would have got like some of the cards from Obsidian Flames. Like imagine Ninetales in there, Gloom, the Pidgeot line. I thought that would have been sick. But as you guys know, 151, it's such a good set. So we're going to put it in the best for now, even though, like I said, it is small. And if you do not like Generation 1, you're not a big fan of this set. So the variety-wise, it's not the best, but still, it's crazy. All right, next we got Paradox Rift, one of my favorite sets. I think this has the best variety in the entire Scarlet and Violet era. Good mixture between, popular Pokemon and special illustration rares, and we got some newer ones like Roaring Moon, Iron Valiant, not to mention some awesome illustration rares. The only thing this set is really missing is that top chase special illustration rare, like that one card, that just blows everything out of the water, which right now, the Altaria is the most expensive. But all right, we are going to put that in great for now, even though I do think Paldea Evolved is slightly better. All right, next we have Paldean Fates. Now, I really wish we would have got like 3 more shiny special illustration rares and then maybe like 6 more shiny illustration rares, and I felt like this set would have been honestly one of the best sets in the entire era. The baby shinies are pretty cool, but a lot of people just do not collect baby shinies. And then the few illustration rares we did get are super, super easy to pull. I'm going to put Paldean Fates in good for now. Remember, I'm going to be moving some stuff around. And also, every time I make one of these videos, I always get some people heated that I put one of their favorite sets in decent or worse, like Obsidian Flames or Shrouded Fable. Now remember, I've said this 1,000 times. The Scarlet and Violet era is basically the best era we've ever gotten. The worst set in the Scarlet and Violet era is better than 95% of all Pokemon sets we've ever gotten. And this is also just my opinion, and I'm basing it off of the cards in the actual set. I'm not basing it off of, how much fun you had opening it that one time, or, you pulled the Charizard and now it's your favorite set. I don't care about that. I'm just basing this off of what cards are in the actual set. But all right, next we got Temporal Forces. Very solid set. There's a lot of people who do not like, these Gen 9 remakes, but you can't really deny the art. Not to mention we got Morty's Conviction, a very nice trainer special illustration rare, And we got the Ghastly, a beautiful illustration rare. But I always say, imagine if these were not the Gen 9 variants and we actually got, Raikou, Suicune, Entei. All right, let's see. We're going to put Temporal. We're going to put it in decent for now. Next, we got Twilight Masquerade. So this has the Greninja and the Eevee. Some of the best cards in the entire era. But if you get rid of those two cards, the set is kind of weak if you really look at it. But having the Greninja and the Eevee, can definitely help carry the set. So I'm going to put it in good for now. All right. Next, we have Shrouded Fable. As you guys know, this is definitely one of the weaker sets in the entire Scarlet and Violet era. Now, this is such a small set, and then, our top chase special illustration rares are the Gen 9 Pokemon, and not the best arts in my opinion. I feel like these were pretty lazy. It does have a beautiful Houndoom and a Persian and stuff. The Monkey Dory illustration rare is super nice also. But again, not the most popular Pokemon, and the set is so small. I am going to put that in worst, and I'm probably going to leave it there. I know it's sad to say, but next, we have Stellar Crown. Again, kind of a smaller set. It does have the Squirtle illustration rare and Bulbasaur, which is just super crazy. And a very nice Tropicos, which I feel like is definitely one of the more popular Gen 9 Pokemon. Still not enough to, get $100 for the card. But definitely one of the weaker sets in the entire Scarlet and Violet era. They got some very nice illustration rares, but so does every single set. So let's see where we're going to put that. I'm going to put Stellar Crown in the worst for now. Next, we have Surging Sparks. Now, I'm a big fan of Surging Sparks. I'd say the only thing that it lacks in is illustration rares. We do have the beautiful Latios and Ceruledge and stuff, and the Skarmory, but there's really not that one crazy chase illustration rare. I mean, it's basically Latios, but the special illustration rare department, I think they are one of the best. Having the Pikachu EX, the Latias, and the Milotic is pretty crazy. That's a crazy trio. Not to mention the Gold Pikachu EX, the Hydreigon EX, the Alolan Executor, and the Lisia's Appeal. So it's a very solid set. Just wish it had a few more illustration rares that really popped off. We are going to put that in great for now. All right, next we have Prismatic Evolutions. Now, it's tough to beat evolutions, and when you're getting every evolution like that, I mean, it's just tough to top it. And now the rest of the special illustration rares are basically, Pokemon that we've already got in the Scarlet and Violet era, which I wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish they would have gave us a few more random Pokemon. But you cannot deny, Prismatic Evolutions is a crazy set. That's a ton of special illustration rares compared to all the other sets. Now, they do not have illustration rares, but they got Master Balls. And some of the Master Balls are, just as expensive as some of the best illustration rares. With Umbreon being around $100, that'd be like the second most expensive illustration rare. Just a little bit above the Groudon. But I wish they would have, dropped the Master Balls, gave us some illustration rares, and gave us some different Pokemon instead of all these Gen 9 cards that we've already gotten special illustration rares of. Not saying these are bad, like the Palaffin's super crazy. I like the Dragapult and stuff like that. Ceruledge is nuts. And I know the pull rates suck and the opening experience isn't very good, but that actually helps with the single prices. So I'm going to put it in the best for now. I know some people are going to be upset with that, but it is a very crazy set. Next, we have Journey Together. Again, a very small set, but in my opinion, it's basically the best small set we've gotten. Check out that top 10. Lily's Clefairy, special illustrationer. We got the beautiful Salamence EX, no crown, nothing. We got the Volcanion, no crown, nothing, no trainer. We got the Enzo EX with his trainer. Iono's Bellybolt with her trainer. Hopsashian with his trainer. And I like these cards, actually. Especially, they're all kind of similar. They almost remind me of, Prime cards, but, with way better arts and the trainer in them. So that's kind of why I'm a big fan. Not to mention the beautiful Articuno and Wailord. And there's a lot of people that do not like these trainers, but in my opinion, I feel like the set has such good variety because we actually get a Salamence EX and a Volcanion, with no trainers, nothing. And then, we have our 4 special illustration rares with trainers. So I think it's definitely one of the best smaller sets. So I'm going to put it in good for now. All right, next we have Destined Rivals. And I know some people get heated when I talk about a set that isn't even out yet, but I can see all the cards. I can talk about it. I'm even going to talk about Black Bolt and White Flare. If people can sell pre-orders with no card reveals, I can talk about a set with some card reveals. Now, I know a lot of people are a little disappointed with Destined Rivals, but I'm telling you, this set is one of the best we've gotten. Just check out these illustration rares right here. We got Typhlosion, Houndoom, Blaziken, Psyduck, Lapras, Cynthia's Roserade. Those right there are pretty crazy. I love the Kangaskong. And then, we got our full arts, got our trainers, but check out these special illustration rares. You cannot tell me this is not one of the best lineups for special illustration rares that we've gotten. Yeah, the Yanmega is not the best or most popular Pokemon. Same with the Mavastav and the Crobat, which I think Crobat looks crazy. But just check out this top 5 with Moltres, Ho-Oh, Mewtwo, Garchomp, and Nidoking. All in one set is pretty crazy. Now, they do all have trainers where there's going to be some people who do not like that, but I don't really get that. Like, I don't collect trainers at all, but I like the cards with the trainers and the Pokemon because it actually feels like the show in the game because there's always a trainer with the Pokemon. So I don't really get why people don't like a trainer in there with the Pokemon. I think it makes it feel more real. But yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of this set. I think the top 10 cards are just going to be super, super crazy. So we are going to put that in one of the best sets. All right, let's move some stuff around, and we'll talk about the White Flare and Black Bolt at the very end. So for best, we got 151 Prismatic and Destined Rivals. I do want to put Paldea Evolved up here with best, because, I mean, this set is just crazy. Next, we got Paradox Rift and Surging Sparks. That's a tough one. I do almost want to put Surging Sparks up there with the best, but I think I'm going to leave it with great. Next, we got Scarlet and Violet Base, Paldean Fates, Twilight Masquerade, Journeying Together. It's tough to put Paldean Fates and Twilight Masquerade down here just because they have such expensive chase cards. Like, I almost really want to move Paldean Fates up to a great set, which, I mean, if we're talking about shiny sets, it's definitely a great set. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put Paldean Fates up here. Taking one last look before I talk about White Flare and Black Bolt, and then we will go to the investing side. I'm going to put Temporal up to good, just because I think it has some really, really good illustration rares in there also. I mean, having Ghastly, Sawsbuck, Deerling, Metagross, Arbok, Litten, some very, very solid illustration rares. All right, now we're going to talk about White Flare and Black Bolt. All right, let's check out what we got in Black Bolt and White Flare so far. So as you guys know, we got the starter Pokemon and all beautiful illustration rares and special illustration rares. There's going to be 156 special illustration rares and illustration rares split up into 2 sets, which still makes them basically the biggest sets we've ever had. So the sets are going to be stacked, and I am absolutely obsessed with these new full arts. I think these are the best full arts we've ever gotten. I'm super stoked for these. Now, of course, we don't know what's going to be in each set because they're, 2 different sets releasing at the same time, but I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. I do think having that many illustration rares and special illustration rares and these new full arts, I think this is going to be one of the best sets in the entire Scarlet and Violet era. The only downfall is if you did not like Gen 5. Same thing as 151. If you did not like Gen 1, you're not really going to enjoy the set. So that is literally the only thing that you can really complain about with this set. So if I had to, rank it, let's say we got all the reveals and they're all beautiful illustration rares and special illustration rares, which we know they will be. I'd honestly have to put Black Bolt and White Flare, up with the best or at least great at the very least. Again, we do not really know what's going to be in the set, like art-wise, but they've been pretty solid the entire era, especially in the illustration rare slot. So I think these are definitely going to be some of the best sets. But all right, let's talk about the actual investment side. I'm going to put Black Bolt and White Flare down here for the worst for now, just to get them out of the way. But all right, best investment-wise, obviously 151, Prismatic Evolutions, Destined Rivals, Paldea Evolved. I think those are all super, super solid. Now for great, we got Paradox Rift, Surging Sparks, Paldean Fates. I do want to move Twilight Masquerade up to great, investment-wise. Now, Twilight Masquerade is one of the least printed sets in the entire Scarlet and Violet era. And of course, print runs mean everything. So, a lot of these sets could get massive print runs to where, it doesn't really matter anymore, and Twilight Masquerade moves down a little bit. So you have to keep that in mind. And I do think Obsidian Flames is not the worst set investment-wise. I think it's actually decent. Now let's talk about Journey Together. There is some stuff going for it. It does have the Enhanced Booster Box, and we already know Destined Rivals is not getting the Enhanced Booster Box, so this could be the only set in the entire era that gets that Enhanced Booster Box. Not to mention there's another booster box of it without the stamp, so we got 2 different boxes that could do really good. So let's say the Enhanced Booster Box gets printed like crazy. We still have the non-Enhanced Booster Box that could be, pretty rare and could do good in the future. You never know. It just depends on print runs. But I do like Journey Together. I think it's definitely a set that's slept on. So I do almost want to put it in great just because it has something the other sets do not have. But I'm going to leave it here for now. Surging Sparks, I almost want to move up to best. I mean, the Pikachu in that set is just crazy. Not to mention the Latias and the Milotic. I mean, that honestly almost has the top 3 best special illustration rares out of any Scarlet and Violet era set. Paldean Fates has a lot of awesome products. You got the boxes with all the starters. We got the Charizard tin. Paradox Rift is a stacked set. Twilight Masquerade has a Greninja and Eevee, plus pretty short printed. Scarlet and Violet base set, you gotta think it's a base set. Base sets tend to do really, really good. It's the first set ever with silver borders, so has some decent stuff going for it. And Temporal Forces, not too bad. I think I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest. There's a couple things I could swap here and there, but I think this is pretty solid. Now, Black Bolt and White Flare investment wise, now of course this all depends on the arts and to the print run, which the Pokemon Center ETBs were in stock for a very long time the other day. Like, no joke, I got mine at like 11 o'clock in the morning and people were still getting them at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So there is a lot of Pokemon Center ETBs out there of these two sets. But they are also coming out in a time where Pokemon is still pretty hyped up. People will remember these sets for a very long time. So I'm going to put them in great for now. Like I said, you know, we don't have the arts, but I don't care. So yeah, I think that is good. Like I said, the only thing I even really want to move maybe is Journey Together up a little bit because of that enhanced booster box. And maybe Surging Sparks up to the best. And then I could even maybe move Obsidian Flames up to good just because that ETB is so crazy. And it's a Charizard set, so I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to put Obsidian Flames up to good, investment-wise. And I think I will also put Journey Together up here, and then I'll put Surging Sparks in the best, investment-wise. All right, I'm going to leave it like this. Let me know down below your guys' ranking. And remember, this is just my opinion. You know, I just like to do this every once in a while. You know, I'll do it again once maybe we get Black Bolt, White Flare, and then maybe like the mega reveals or something like that. And I got to mention this for like the 5th time, but this all depends on reprints. Surging Sparks and like Twilight Masquerade could get reprinted like crazy still to where, you know, they get a lot cheaper. But if you look at the Surging Sparks booster box, that thing has been holding strong since it basically came out. But all right, that was today's video. If you guys do like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you can check out my Instagram or my YouTube membership. It's only 99 cents a month. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you want to watch my last Pokemon Falling Friday, which was a crazy one, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.